Everybody, this is Angelo Quinones and You Reach High Ministries. High Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. But I'm doing a tutorial on this BAOFANG. How you say it? BAOFANG? Like that? Ang? 888S and stuff like that. So let me see if I have my wife over here for a radio check. I'm just a deal. Hello, hon. Do you copy? Over. I don't know what I got married for, guys, but that's just a deal. Hi, hon, you there? Over. It's just this is just live color. Thank you. If she didn't answer the second time, I'm getting a loan, incidentally, on December, so I would have deducted some money, I would have said, from my loan parts of the loan that I give her. Now, getting to this BAOFANG 888S has been here for a while. Okay, incidentally, the first walkie-talkie was invented. It's not called a walkie-talkie. It's really a two-way radio, but it's just the same thing, guys. It's terminology. It's been around for a long time, and the first invention of the walkie-talkie, happened in 1937. And the CB came out in 1948. Incidentally, Radio Shack popped out on the scene around 1921 in their catalog in 1939. So that's just a little history for you, BAOFANG started their whole gig around 2001. That's kind of interesting. I didn't know it was that old, meaning the company. And so that's just the deal. There's not a lot of things that can be said about this, but I'm going to try to add some new things and some new points, okay, to make this kind of a fresh review, even though this unit has reviews that goes back to 8 years ago, okay, even 4 years ago. This guy was talking about this walkie-talkie when the 2020 January the 6th rebellion took place, okay, in the United States. I'm over here in the Philippines. I'm not a Filipino. I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York, way back to to my chagrin in 1965. Okay, I just relocated a few years ago to the Philippines, which is sort of a normal thing to do when you get older, and when you get up there in age, you just want a little bit more peace and calm and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I got married here. I have 2 kids, praise God, Sean Donnelly and Anna Devane, my kids. I got those names from General Hospital, by the way. Speaking about General Hospital and secret things, there are some because some people don't read the manual, they may not know about it. There are some Easter eggs here, okay, that you can uncover, that you could discover, okay, especially if you didn't read the manual. And I'm going to be getting into it because the thing is that there's a tutorial out there that has some of those Easter eggs, right? But he uses different channels. Okay, so I'm going to be using channel 5, 10, 15, and 10. And he uses like 1 and 16 and all this other mumbo jumbo. And he's a Spanish guy who lives in Argentina, I think. Very delightful to listen to. But it's in Spanish, and not everybody knows Spanish, so I'm going to be doing some of that stuff in English, So this is the BAOFANG 888X, S, I should say, S like in Sam. And, the interesting thing about walkie-talkies, this is not really known as a walkie-talkie. That's not really the lingo for this. It's really two-way radio. Some people say radio. That's confusing. Okay, you don't want to say radio, because people think when they see FM in the manual, FM radio, it has a radio in it. Does not have a radio. So a lot of people, they know when you say radio, you mean two-way radio, but a lot of people don't know that, coming in to this, if they're just using this as a hobby and stuff like that for the first time. Oh, radio. Okay, it's a radio. It plays AM, FM. You know what I mean? Get the Yankees and stuff like that in AM and FM and stuff like that way back in, in the day and, on the fan. No, it's not. So it's not a radio. BAOFANG itself, okay, started their gig, their company in 2001. So I just want to let you know a little bit of the history of the walkie-talkie and everything like that. Also, I want to let you know that people are kind of picky and say, well, this is not a walkie-talkie because of the antenna. The antenna can be extracted, can be taken out, but way back in the day, the Radio Shack walkie-talkies, right, could also be extracted. You take out the cover. You used to take out the cover. I used to mess up my walkie-talkies, though. You know what I'm saying? $150 walkie-talkies. Take out you take out the cover, and the antenna will be over here with a Phillips screw. And all you need is a screwdriver, and it's not going to be easy to take out, but you could still take out the antenna like that. So this idea that those walkie-talkies didn't have antennas that can be taken out and replaced, it's not true whatsoever. This is easier to take out because you don't have to open up anything to take it out. You just take out this SMA antenna and unscrew it, and then you could just put one in its place better, stronger, faster, all this stuff. $6 Million Man is my favorite show, by the way. Voice of the Bottom Sea is my second. What can I say about this thing? Well, first of all, it's light. I don't need a big walkie-talkie to be in my hand. And you see some tutorials, they're really wonderful people. But you see that he needed a big, different strokes for different folks. I'm not criticizing, but he needed a big walkie-talkie to be in his hand. Well, to me, that's for him. That's good. But to me, those days are over. I don't want big, clunky walkie-talkies, I just want something to fit in my hand, fit in my pocket, be on my belt in an easy way. I'm tired of those old days of carrying those 40 channel 5-watt walkie-talkies that were so heavy, and the antenna, the rubber ducky antenna was clumsy and always came off. Remember those side screws? It wasn't really a good setup at all. And I'm comparing this to that. I'm not comparing this to the T1 or to the Cobra, to the whatever, Rocky Talkie and all that stuff, and all this other, and the UV 5R and the UV whatever. I'm not comparing it. I'm comparing to. This is the first time that I ever bought a walkie-talkie after the 1990s. Okay, and so I wanted it because the thing is, I have a special child that has seizure attacks sometimes, and she's inside the house right now, and I wanted to communicate with my wife much more effectively because sometimes I don't know where she's at. She could be anywhere, And the thing is that I can't afford that. Okay, and sometimes there's brownouts here. Hi, my love. I'll be saying hi, my love to her, but see, so she won't cry. Hi, my love. Hi. And her name is Anna Devane, by the way, like I said before. And I get sometimes they have brownouts over here, and we call them blackouts in the United States. And this is the only thing that's going to be working. That in your flashlight. Okay, you understand? So this is a really good thing to use because the battery lasts for a very long time. I tested it, and as far as I tested it, 17 hours. You could get 17 hours at least. I probably even more than that. Probably like a whole day, because me and my wife don't use it a lot. You use it on standby. And so that's why it lasts so long, but it's not even 8 hours like they say. Well, they say 8 hours of normal use. Normal use is probably using it, more than us. But if you're just going to stand by and say, oh, hon, where are you? Come in and can you please give the medicine to the baby, whatever the case may be. I mean, all that stuff. Can you please do the food for the baby? This powder food that she knows how to do. Okay, fine. Then it's not going to be a lot. But so it's going to run you about like 17 and plus hours. So the battery is great. The plastic is great. It already took a couple of drops on the floor, the hard cement floor that we have in the kitchen. That's how they do the floors here in the Philippines, because of the earthquakes probably and stuff like that. So it took already a couple of crashes, guys. So it could withstand that. This belt strap, this hand strap or whatever you want to call it, be careful with it because the other one is broken already, and I had it for about 2 months. And the funny thing about this is that I had this hanging on my wrist over a bridge with water underneath it. I'm glad it didn't happen at that time. I'm glad it happened now because I'm not going to do that test anymore because it's not reliable. Okay, so what happened? Well, I mean, I had trouble with putting in the battery after charging, and I said, well, what's going on? I never had problems before, and it was the strap that got in the way. So I just coiled up the strap. and it looks like it was too much for it, and it just came out. So this is, get another one if you want to dangle it on your wrist. Like I used to put windows uh, on a building. I'm not gonna say on buildings, but on a building. And if you want to be up high with this dangling and stuff like that, just don't use this though. I guess that's something new that nobody really spoke about. The really unreliability of this wrist strap. Now, what about the belt clip? Okay, well, the belt clip is very reliable. Okay, the hand strap is not. It broke already, like I said before. But the belt clip is very strong and reliable, and I haven't had a problem with this falling off my belt, okay, or anything like that. You understand? So that's just the deal. Now about the Easter eggs, remember in school we used to have like parties and stuff like that, and we used to find some Easter eggs and in Easter Day and stuff like that, whatever the case may be. So it's kind of nice to, Star Trek communicators also had some of these things as well, some Easter eggs and all this stuff. And you know what I want the One Company to do? If the One Company is out there listening, I want the One Company to do a Star Trek communicator like this, meaning that it's a two-way radio. Instead of having those stupid batteries that you can't get when your Star Trek communicator, One Company communicator is shot. Okay, I mean, what are you gonna do with it if you can't even get the battery? Or what the hell? I mean, if they use like batteries that you can buy easily, like they're doing on the tricorders, well, okay, fine, yeah, but they did they designed a Star Trek communicator, but it's useless. I have one in the house right here in the Philippines. It's just forget about it. It's a piece of garbage now. I guess I can sell it and make some money, or my son in the future. He's 2 years old, but I'm not gonna be collecting. Well, what about it? First of all, this is very good plastic, hard plastic. It took a couple of crashes on the floor, like I said before. That's number one. Okay. So this is, I guess you can use this when it's drizzling, but it doesn't have an IP67 rating or anything like that. So, I mean, it's not waterproof. Okay. But it can take a crash. And the belt clip is good. The hand strap is bad. Okay. It's made of plastic, that the grip. Okay, so don't trust it too much. Okay, the antennas can be removed, and this is a SMA antenna, like I said before, so that's good. It can improve the range. Now I went down that way, okay, down yonder, okay, and I walked for about like 45 minutes. Okay, this guy did a tutorial, and he was in a car. Well, don't be in a car, because first of all, you're obstructing the view of the antenna. Okay, if you're in a car testing it out, or if you're under some sort of a bridge or something like that, or whatever the case may be, or those high ceilings. And he was in the Philippines, like I'm in the Philippines, and he was under like these big sort of basketball court ceilings that are about like 20 feet high. He was in a school, so he was testing them in not really ideal conditions. You know what I mean? To be fair with this, I think he only got like about I don't know, 2 kilometers or something like that. Well, of course, if you're gonna be in a car, you're gonna be. It's not really designed like that. It's designed to be used around the area, or just a good 5,000, 6,000 feet, and that's about it. That's all you're gonna get. That's pretty impressive, though. I remember those cheap walkie-talkies that I used to have in the 1970s, like 1974 Star Trek communicators, those toys. I mean, it used to be like 5 feet. Okay, you're lucky if you get 5 feet out of them. And then you had the 100 milliwatt walkie-talkies from Radio Shack, right? And it was okay for $14.99 in those days, and the 40 channel walkie-talkies, but they were clumsy. This is just it fits so perfectly in the hand, and on your belt. It's really an amazing thing that this small unit can transmit a signal like 6,000 or 7,000 feet away. Okay, and maybe even more with an improved antenna. That's to me, that's impressive. Very reliable two-way radio or walkie-talkie. Well, look at all these trees over here. You see all that stuff that it has to go through. And you can't even see the bridge that I was at. First of all, it's like about 45 minutes away, and look at look at all that stuff. And I had the walkie-talkie over here, and the phone recording from the walkie-talkie, and the walkie-talkie was in the house. So I'm talking about the guy in the car, and I had it was kind of hypocrisy. I was in the, I had this in the house, but I didn't think about it at the time, But I did open up some windows and like that. So, so that was a good test, and it really really did well. It's very clear. Now, also when people do some tests, when they say, oh well, there's noise. Well, of course there's going to be noise. I was doing a test when I was near a busy street. And then when I go back to the recording, well, that's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear the tricycles and the trucks and the cement trucks and the vans and the cars and the motorcycles and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be, just roaming through. And you're going to have, because it's going to pick up that noise. It's going to pick up a little bit of that noise. It's not going to be just crystal clear. You're going to have to do your tutorial in the nighttime to be clear like that, to have it clear, So I don't really go about noise. There's going to be noise. The squelch really works well, and that's just the deal. How do you get these Easter eggs, though? Well, this is the deal. Let me see if I could do it now, though. Okay, I think I have mine set up. Let me see. Let me see something. Testing 1 2 3 testing. Testing 1 2 3 testing. Okay, so I have my walkie-talkie over there on a bureau, and the first one I want to talk about, since I have it on channel 5, is the Vox. Okay, the voice activating system. Okay, but it's hard to do it with one hand, so I'm going to try. Since I have to go like that, I'd rather speak about this anyway. If your antenna gets stuck, okay, that you can't take it out even with two hands, just put it on your stomach. Put it on your stomach like this. Use your thumb and the finger right next to it, and then use another hand. I can't because I'm holding the camera. Okay, and then do the same thing with the other hand on this side, and then just turn it to you like this, and it should come off. It should come off, because I had a problem with that, and nobody really mentions that too much, because well, this has 1 2 3 4 5 buttons, and that's it. No screen. But you don't need a screen because it talks, but it doesn't need to talk. You could shut that down. Let me activate the Vox. Okay. Now, when one Spanish, there was one tutorial, but it was in Spanish. A charming guy from Argentina, and I want to mention this real quickly, okay? The laws that apply in Argentina may not apply here in the Philippines. And the laws that apply in the Philippines, like licensing and stuff like that, and what to do and what to, if you can use it without a license or whatever the case may be, it might not apply in the United States. So to say that this is illegal to use, you have to, stay within your country when you're doing a tutorial, because it might not be the same all around the world. Okay. If you want to get a license in the Philippines, you just go to your nearest NTC office, and you can get a license or a permit that way. And they have some parameters. I mean, you have to be a moral person, and then you have to be a citizen of the Philippines or a particular country, and then you have to have that country that you come from have the same opportunities for the Philippine people. Okay, and on it goes, So I mean, and to me, it's not a big deal in getting a license. It's very easy to get a license or a permit. Okay, and in the United States, I think it costs like $35 to get a license, and you don't even have to pass the tests sometimes to get this. So it's kind of easy. And if you get one for you, well, your family can use it also like that. It's something like that. But it's within the country. There are laws. There are separate laws for each country. It doesn't really correspond all the time. So if you're being scared half to death by somebody in the United States because they're talking about, well, this is illegal and this and that, and this, it might not apply for here or for Argentina or whatever the case may be, But this guy from Argentina was talking in Spanish, and I happen to be Spanish and part Italian also, right? And he was getting into these Easter eggs and stuff like that he was uncovering, but he had it on channel 1 for Vox, right? I think that's what he said, channel 1. You need to have it on channel 5. Now, that was an old tutorial. That's about like 5 years ago. So maybe this company was making, these units and setting things on different channels. Now it's on channel 5 that you have to do that. You understand? So I'm gonna see if I could do that. I'm gonna put it on my knee, the banjo on my knee routine. You understand what I'm saying? That's I'm barefoot here in the Philippines. It's hot like hell. You know, let me see over here. I should have put my slippers on. You understand? The first step is always hot. You know. Let me see over here what I can do. Make sure that you guys can see it. Now let me see if it's turned off. Okay. Now what you do, you hold. And one thing about people who speak other languages, just slow down a little bit. You know, I married a Filipina and she's speaking fast all the time. And I'm Spanish and we do that also. We're kind of guilty of that also. So that's why I wanted to do this in English. Because you need to slow down a little bit. Okay, you understand? Just what you do is you press the PTT button, push the talk button, okay, which is the big button right here, right? And then you press the middle button, and that's the monitor button, okay, which I don't use. I mean, I don't really use that button at all. I mean, it's nice and sounds official and all that stuff, but I don't really use it too much, you know. And you hold the two buttons simultaneously or at the same time, okay, before you turn it on. Okay, you need to have it, like, if you want to turn on Vox, this model I bought this year, 2024. Okay, his model, he bought it maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, and maybe they had it on a different channel. But mine is on channel 5 that you have to do this on. You have to have it on channel 5. You don't have to have the other walkie-talkie on channel 5. You have to have this one on channel 5, okay? Your wife or whomever may not want to have that feature on, because if they talk, you can hear everything. This could be like a bugging device, actually, okay? You know what I mean? Because I had it yesterday on for her, and I was hearing everything she was saying. It was kind of funny. But I didn't understand anything anyway because it was in Filipino, so that's just the deal. So let me see if I could do it. It's going to be hard with one hand, though. And the one-handed bandit or swordsman or whatever it is. Let me see. I press this over here. And let me have this over here like this. Get ready to turn it on like that, right? Okay, let me try. Hold the top one, hold the middle one, and hope I don't break it.
Power on. 5.
No, it's just a power on. Let me see if I can do it again. It's hard just because I'm doing two things at the same time.
Power on. 5.
No, wait. I'm letting it go. You have to have it on. You have to leave it in. There you go. Vox on. Okay. So let me try to speak without hitting the button, okay? Let me see. Hello, hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Testing, testing. Wait, let me get the camera out of the way. Hello, hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Okay. Now the thing about that, the Vox is nice. But let's say if you say okay, you're saying everything I'm saying now. Let's say let me just turn it off. If you say radio check radio, let's say you say somebody's name first. You have 5 people on, right? Well, you better say it twice or 3 times, the name, because it's not going to pick it up the first time. So if you say it only one time, let's say George, come in, they're just going to hear come in. So this activates the system, but it doesn't activate it right away. That's the problem with that. I noticed that. Okay, let me see if I could do that.
Power on. 5.
Let me see. George, come in. George. George? You see, it doesn't do it all the time. It's George, come in. You see, it just says come in. See, wait. George, come in. You see, it says come in. You see that? It didn't say right away, George. So if you have a whole bunch of people on a walkie-talkie, you better say George. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? You better say George. Sure, let me try that.
Power on. 5.
George, come in. George. Now when it's like the light is on, you can say George all you want. Okay? Now, the correct way to hold a walkie-talkie is right next to your face, because you could use your head as an antenna. Okay, you understand? It's like Gilligan's Island. Remember Gilligan's Island when it became a radio? Well, the same concept is true. Actually, that's very true. You got a lot of electrical impulses in your brain and stuff like that people don't use. Okay, that's why we lose elections. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing altogether. But so that's one Easter egg. Now the same thing you have to, if you want to, let's say, turn off, okay, like the channel numbers and stuff like that, her speaking out the channel numbers,
4,
go to 10.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You understand? All right. And you have to turn it off. You have to have it off. Okay. And this is the painful process with one hand, guys. And my toes are hot, for God's sakes. You see my step over there is I should have put the slippers on, like I said. Goodness gracious, it's hot. It's like 90 degrees under my tootsies. Okay, so let me just have the thumb here. I have my heel on my step, for God's sakes. Let me turn this on there. Press the top button, PTT button, leave it in. Leave in the middle button and turn it on.
Power on.
I hate when it doesn't do it, though. Let me see. Because then I have to do it again. Let me see. Wait, my love. I'm coming, hon. Okay, now off. So what I did, okay, I had the unit off. I had it on channel 10. This is a 2024 model. Okay, I just put it like that, I had the PTT button pushed in, didn't let it go. I pushed in the middle button, didn't let it go, and at the same time, I had the both of them down, pressed. And then you turn it on, and then you let those go. Okay, that's what you have to do. Now, it's not going to give you the numbers. Well, now that's like a little James Bondish like that, because nobody knows where you're at. You see? Nobody knows where you're at. It could be anywhere. Now, when you want to reprogram these, right, just if you want to reprogram them to like the numbers that are high, like 10, 15, like that, just have it on 16. And you could use it as a grid. You could use it as a guide, because, this is the last channel, 16. So if you want to change it to Chinese, you just put it down there to 15. Just one little turn. Okay, and I could do that now. Let me see if I can do that now. Oh, yeah. That's the deal. You can learn the numbers like that, I guess, anyway. I'll have it in 1 minute, guys. Would you believe it? 1 minute. Would you believe 2 minutes? How about a week after Tuesday? Okay, let me see. Wait. This is funny. No, I didn't leave it in. Let me see if I could just like wait. This is like Alfred Hitchcock with the filming this. Goodness gracious. Wait for a second. No, not yet. Let me see. It's hard to do it at the same time. And I can't do it like this. Let's see. Because I'm using one hand. It's like the Beatles, for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Okay. Now. Come on, turn Chinese, for God's sakes. Let me see. There has to be 15. That's 15. Just doesn't want to speak Chinese, for God's sake. You understand what I'm saying? Let's see. Okay. In. Turn it on. That's strange. It is 15, though. Maybe she needs a license to speak Chinese. I don't know. Let me see. Wait, I'm going to get this done, guys. Don't laugh now. Don't laugh, my love, inside there, okay? I don't know why it's not doing it. It's not doing it, for God's sakes. Oh, okay. This is what and I'm glad this has happened to me and not to you. The reason why, okay, I have to go back to channel 10 to discontinue that function of the beep channel function, okay? Okay, I should have known that. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Ooh, wait. I lost count. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Okay, I have to turn this off first and then go to 15. Okay, so you have to turn off the function first. I'm glad it happened to me, and now it doesn't have to happen to you. Okay, hold that. Okay. Now, the reason why it did that was because I already turned it on at 15. Okay? You understand? So this is the channels right here. Okay? But let me not cheat. Okay, let me go back to... Okay, let me go to 15. Okay, let me turn it off. And turn it off and then turn it on. Okay? Because I already turned it on, but it wasn't audible because the other function on channel 10 was overriding it. Okay, so until you turned it off. You understand what I mean? So let me just turn this off. Let me just turn it off. Okay, so hold it. Okay. Wait. Hold it like that. I don't know if it's good to do that all the time. I hope this stuff is strong, these buttons. Because I got some strong fingers though, you know, you don't wanna like mess it up.
Power on. 15.
Okay, so that's this is 15. So okay, so just to be fair, let me just turn it off. Okay, and then turn it back on. Okay, indent them. They're both at the same time. Wait for a second. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's the deal. Now there's another function here that I think you turn off when she says battery low to a couple of beeps. I like that better than the battery low routine. Okay. I think that's on channel 2 or channel 3, but I haven't tested it. I tested it, but it didn't run out. So one day I can come back and maybe add that as an appendix or something like that, because I'm not sure if that's the function. It's either on channel 2 or channel 3 in these late models, if you will. So what can I say about this that I didn't say? My love, I'm coming, my love. Coming on. I'm coming on, my love. I'm coming. I'm going to play music soon. I love you, love. I love you. I love you, my love. She's a special child. She's 5 years old, but she's a special child. Okay, so very reliable plastic to finish, and then be with my baby. Okay, well, this is the end of the tutorial. So let me just talk on a couple of things that I discovered about this thing. This two-way radio, this walkie-talkie. Okay. The charger, the one slot charger, okay, the one pocket charger is flimsy. I mean, it's good. It does its job, but be careful that you don't have it like on a table and somebody pushes it off when it's charging or something like that. So you know what I do? I just take out the battery and just charge it like that. I just charge the battery. I don't put the walkie-talkie in the charger anymore because it fell 2 times. That's how it fell. So that's one thing maybe that can help you avoid some accidents, even though, this is pretty strong plastic and it can take a couple of falls, a couple of crashes. But, if you just want to save the wear and tear on the unit, just put the battery in the charger. And you can buy an 8-sleeve or 8-pocket charger. It's not a lot of money. Even here in the Philippines, it's very cheap. You can add an extendable mic. Hand mic over here. You just take the cover off of this thing. You just peel it off. And as I put it on my knee here, and probably can't even do that. So, and then it uses a 2-prom setup, and so you could put your mic over there and your earphone. Also, I wanted to say that be careful with the package that you get, because just because you heard a tutorial that the guy got, extra batteries, like 4 batteries, and the earpieces doesn't mean you're going to get them. I didn't get them. I was surprised when I didn't get the earpieces. So just be careful when you're ordering that you know what's coming in the box, because I didn't get 4 batteries. I didn't get, the earpieces that everybody gets. Okay, so you have to be careful with that. And the light is nothing to write home about. I mean, and I don't know what you're going to do with it. It's a strobe light. It's not really SOS. I don't think it's giving out a SOS signal. Okay, I don't know if the Chinese know SOS, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's not a SOS signal. It's not like that. It's not like that. So it's just a strobe light. It's not giving out a SOS signal. And I mean, unless you're face down, God forbid, or something like that, and a red flag falls out of your pocket, who's gonna stop nowadays to help somebody with just a SOS signal or something blinking? with so much technology and stuff like that, they think you're just playing a video game or something like that. So it's absolutely useless. It's worthless. I think a better thing to do, I don't know if it has this, but just have a button over here that you can actually set out a signal to your spouse, that, get on the walkie-talkie, please. Just like, those cheap walkie-talkies that we used to buy in the old days, like in Woolworths or whatever, in Finger Hut. They were cheap as hell. And they had like a red button over here for Morse code and stuff like that or whatever. But I think the best thing to do is just take this light out. You don't need a light. Everybody has a flashlight, or just add another button. And you can it could be like a signal button that you could just press and get somebody's attention like that. I mean, you could use something like that, but because the light is not that strong. Even here in the Philippines, it's not. It gets dark here and it's not that strong. It's okay, but it's nothing to write home about. This flashlight is just. I'm not gonna say it's cheap, but it's not. It's not really great. How about that? It's not at a 1 out of 10. It's like a 5. The monitor button I don't really use. I mean, you don't hear anything in the Philippines anyway. You don't hear anything. You never, ever hear anything. Now, if this was back in the day in the United States, like the CB that we used to be using, well, you'd be hearing clutter all over the place. But that's not even the situation now with CBs in the United States, I guess. Right? I haven't been there in a while, but nobody really uses CBs like they used to use them in the 70s and 80s. So this is what you're going to hear. It's useless. It's absolutely useless. So these two buttons are sort of like there, but who cares? The PTT button is nice and strong. A nice rubber. Is really the thing about this that's kind of nice. It stands out. It's just the design of it. It's just the curves. They did a lot of work in carving things out, molding things out. It's not like a box, like a square box that's just not interesting to look at. Like the 88S Plus, 888S Plus. I wouldn't get that for the life of me. It's just an ugly unit. It's just like a box, so that's why people don't really even like it, But it's just like it's nice and round and curvy, and it fits well, and it has a lot of little piquitos, we call it in Spanish, a lot of little lines and stuff that it'll help you not to drop the unit, and so this thing won't slide off your hand or something like that or whatever. So it's just a really nice. This is probably the best walkie-talkie I ever had, and I had some walkie-talkies back in the day, like the Radio Shack walkie-talkies. Those are really great, but 40 channels and 5 watts and all this other stuff. But this is just more impressive than those clumsy units that we had in the old days. So I spoke about this. I spoke about the strap that don't trust it too much. The belt clip you can trust. The plastic you can trust. You can drop it and it won't break. For, a certain amount of like a meter or something like that. From the floor. The ground or whatever. And then the sound is great. The sound is a 10. I don't know who gave it an 8 or whatever. The sound is a 10. It's very loud. It's very loud. So that's just the deal. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Now, did I turn off that feature? I think I turned it off though. Let me see. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. I think I turned off the other walkie-talkie or whatever. The buttons are nice, nicely carved. Only 16 channels. Basically that's it. I don't think there's nothing else to be said about this unit. Very reliable. It should last you for years if you take care of it. And there's different accessories and adapters and antennas and all this mumbo jumbo. And then it's for your first walkie-talkie. If you're thinking of buying it, just buy it. You're not gonna you could buy it for 350 pesos here in the Philippines, which is, let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 bucks. It's really $14 for 2 units, 700 and something pesos. For each a peso is like 2 pennies, right? So you can't go wrong. I'm very happy with this. They overdid themselves with this one, and this is just a starting point for me. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is Angelo Quinones, always giving the praise to God, who brought me safely here to the Philippines, 15 hours from Kennedy Airport all the way to Shanghai International Airport. I forgot, it's so long ago. And 15 hours, grueling hours, guys, goodness gracious. And then when I got to China, I had to stay there for 15 hours until the next flight, which was 4 hours from there to Cebu, and then 3 hours in the car from there to here. So I'm glad I did the trip because I got 2 kids out of it, praise God. And Sean Donnelly and Anna Devane. And actually, Sean Donnelly and Anna Devane from General Hospital would have loved to have used these. Okay, back in the day in the 1980s. Okay, take care, guys. Bye now. Bye. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up and please leave your comment on the screen. Take care.